Have you ever wondered what happens to a person who constantly hears the wrong voices to the point of forgetting who they truly are? You see, before the chaos, there was a boy, and his name was Mephibosheth. He was born under banners and raised near the echo of trumpets. You see, this child was surrounded by marble, honor, and destiny. He was a prince who once toddled across the hallways that were lined with the history of Israel. He belonged to greatness. You see, royal blood warmed his veins because his grandfather was King Saul, and his father was Prince Jonathan, one of Israel's greatest warriors and one of David's closest friends. You see, legacy whispered his name. The future opened before him like a sunrise. But in a single moment, everything changed. News burst through the palace gates like a storm tearing through a quiet city. King Saul is dead and Prince Jonathan is dead. The house of Saul has fallen. That was his bloodline, his grandfather, his father, his covering, his security, gone in one breath. You see, the servants fled. The doors slammed. Whispers turned into screams. You see, his nurse lifted him and ran, stumbling and falling over him, shattering both of his feet and altering the path of his life forever. She carried the broken boy far from Jerusalem to a place called Lodabar. People today hear that name and shrug, but in ancient Israel, Lodabar was infamous. It was where society sent the forgotten, the diseased, the disabled, the rejected, those with leprosy, those that were abandoned, those clinging to survival, the poorest, the outcast, the unseen. Lodabar was not just poor. It was the refuse pile of a nation, a place with no pasture, no promise, no future. Its very name meant no voice, nothing. And that atmosphere, that atmosphere spoke louder than any words. Imagine the grandson of a king growing up among the discarded, the son of a prince sleeping beside men whose skin peeled off from disease, a child of covenant begging for the scraps of a forgotten land. You see, Lodabar became his teacher, not through lessons, but through repetition. You are broken. You are abandoned. You are nothing special. No one remembers you. No one is coming. He heard it so long that he believed it. You see, the palace became a fading rumor. His father's courage, a distant shadow. His royal blood, an irrelevant fact. He forgot who he was because his environment kept teaching him who he wasn't. You see, silence became his shelter. Lowering his head became his survival. He blended in because Lodabar taught him to shrink. Then one day, the dust rose on the horizon. Not the village dust, soldier dust, royal dust. They rode into Lodabar with the authority of Jerusalem behind them. Doors slammed, children hid, rumors rippled through the slums. Where is the son of Jonathan? Mephibosheth trembled. Sons of kings do not get summoned from slums unless punishment awaits, he thought. He was lifted onto a donkey and carried out of the land that shaped him toward the palace that forgot him. Entering the hall, his heart pounded against his ribs. David, warrior, psalmist, king, stood right there before him. Everything in the room whispered royalty, but everything inside of Mephibosheth whispered Lodabar. He fell on his face, unable to lift his eyes, and out of his mouth slipped the sentence that revealed the deepest wound within him. Who am I but a dead dog that you would summon me and call me into your presence? A dead dog. That was how he saw himself. That was what Lodabar had carved into him. Not a prince, not a covenant son, not heir, a dead dog. But David, with eyes full of covenant and compassion, spoke a word that shattered years of silence. Do not fear. I will restore to you all that belonged to your grandfather Saul, and you will eat at my table like one of my sons. That moment was more than restoration. It was resurrection. Because sometimes the greatest miracles are not when God fixes your feet, but when he restores your identity. He lifts your chin, he breaks the lies. He reminds you that Lodabar was where you lived, but not who you are. And here's the truth. If you live long enough in the land of the forgotten, you will forget the sound of your own name. But heaven never forgets. And the king still calls his children out of Lodabar to tables where destiny is served on plates of grace.